Hey guys, welcome back to 4 Driver's Life. As you see, I'm driving. I'm heading somewhere about 9 hours, 10 hours away from my house, picking something up for the channel. So for this coming year, there will be a new addition for my channel for easier camping trips and winter camping trips and stuff like that. I have like 9 hours of drive in front of me right now today. So I'm trying to get that over with. And yeah, I'll show you all about the thing and the company in a little bit. Stay tuned. All right, next exit, 224 miles away. Let's do it.
So normally I don't do a lot of vlogging style videos. However, for this project, I'm going to implement a lot of vlogging style so that bring everyone together with me on the trip and hopefully showing you from the first person view of what it's like for picking up this project. I'm also going to show you the MPGs I get on the trip there and then after the pickup so that you have a good idea of the MPG fuel efficiency impact from having this project with my truck. So I live in southeast Pennsylvania around Philadelphia suburb area. Whenever I'm traveling west, I have to hit up Sheetz for their good food. So for this first fill up, I traveled about 236.8 miles, while used 12.28 gallons of fuel. I'm gonna total up the number of miles traveled and the number of gallons used. And then when I'm at the destination, I'll calculate the miles per gallon. And then do the same thing on the way back. Alright, for my second fill up, I drove about 138.4 miles and used 7.187 gallons of fuel. I really don't like driving at night, so I ended up calling it a day after the sunset and got a hotel in Harrison, Ohio. Alright, the second morning before my final 50 miles, odometer is saying 163 miles since last fill up, and I used 8.6 gallons of fuel. Okay, so on my way to Indiana, my total miles traveled was 538.9 miles and I used about 28.07 gallons. And the calculated MPG is 19.2 miles per gallon without anything attached to the truck. So after about another hour of driving on the second day, I reached the factory of Hiker Trailers. Next, I'm going to introduce you to my new trailer. This is a Highway Deluxe. It's a 5x8. It's in metallic bronze color.
There's going to be a handle. We probably have it sewed in here. We're going to need that. This handle is magnetic, which is really nice, and as long as you don't forget it on here while you're driving. And there's a lot of different motions that this thing is designed to be able to, I guess, allow you to do here. So you can adjust the height of this main telescoping mechanism with this latch right here. I'm just going to assume that that's about where we want it, but since I've not done this personally, it's sort of a learning curve right here.
Okay.
But we'll start in the middle. Then you have a lever here that allow you to pull a pin and rotate it 90 degrees. Okay. You can continue going around if you want. I don't know why you would, but you can. We would ideally utilize the jack right here and stow it here. So you'll probably find that that's all you wind up using.
So that's the driving position.
If I was to drive, I would keep it at 90 degrees here, or horizontal, but I would slide this back further.
Oh, I see.
You know, I don't want to have anything protruding out here that might conflict with the articulation of the drive.
Gotcha.
Right? And if I keep it there, we might find that that might be too low for me to really get this thing telescoped down. So I'm starting to see that on this setup right here, I would probably drive with it in this position, minus the handle. But when I get to the campground, I'll put the handle on, I'll slide this up one more. So then I can drop that down and have more articulation when I start to lower the wheels.
I see.
Okay. And I'm not going to be able to show you really well right now because of this cart being in the way.
Right.
We would just continue to crank until the weight of the trailer is on the tires. So one other thing I want to note, if you come around here, you'll see a index pin right here on the end of the jack that had it indexed into that hole. So when we crank this up, the idea is right now the wheel will swivel.
Right.
We can pick our favorite hole, which is going to look like this one right now, again, because this is in my way. We'll seat it in there,
So it's like a lock pin.
Yeah, and that keeps the wheels from swiveling or spinning while you're
Right.
driving. If they're catching wind, then they could spin themselves down. That's
Okay.
not what you want. So make sure when you crank this up and you're getting ready to take off that you do have that index pin in one of these holes.
Okay.
You'll probably find that you're going to use this one over here, this little slot. And the reason I say that is because it is going to put the wheels over here. And so when you put it at 90, they'll be up here out of the way. You'll have more ground.
A little narrower profile.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a right or wrong way to do it, but that's probably how I would do it.
Okay. So let's say if I'm at the campground or at wherever I want to unload the trailer.
Yeah.
Do I want to? Which one should I use? I guess. Like, is that one the
That's
stabilizer?
A great question. So, mobility,
Okay.
storage. So while you're in it, while you're sleeping in it, I would default to the standard foot jack.
Gotcha.
You know, you're not going to have all these extra opportunities for movement.
Right. Right.
But you're not going to move it with this one, even though you probably could just lift this up and move it
Right,
around.
right.
The idea is this is going to take a
I
lot
see.
of that effort. Alleviate a lot of that.
So once I'm at the ground or I'm at whatever I want to set up for sleeping, then I use that.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the way we have this, I guess, installed right here is you have the opportunity to pick whichever one you want.
Gotcha.
And I think that's beneficial to have a closed on here.
And that's also adjustable, right? Like height-wise.
Yes, up and down.
Gotcha.
And then it too will stow at 90 degrees just by pulling the pin out.
Okay.
You can take the jack completely off of the mounting bung there. You pull this pin out, you take the jack, you can even stow it in the toolbox temporarily if you wanted to. If you didn't want it out here, and you put it at 90 degrees if you want to travel and stick the pin back in.
Okay. Gotcha.
If we were to have your vehicle in here, we had the weight off of both of these, then I'd be able to.
Sure. And that doesn't come off, or this handle.
Correct. Nope, that's structural. It's attached.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going, I guess.
As we
Sorry.
go further back, I see that we have the breakaway chain here,
Mhm.
breakaway cable. We're going to wind up attaching this to your tow vehicle, and it's usually done differently on each tow vehicle based off what we have to access to latch to. But we'll figure that out when we get the truck in here.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason the trailer separates from the tow vehicle, the idea is this cable is going to catch and pull the pin out of this box, connecting a circuit and initiating the brakes on the trailer to slow it down. So one, hopefully it wouldn't hit the back of the tow vehicle.
Right.
I'll joke with customers and I'll say, or go flying past you down the highway.
That's the worst nightmare.
Yes, not ideal. We have the 48-inch toolbox on the front.
Right.
It is lockable, so you have opportunity to lock here. You get 2 keys, so you'll have a spare. One handle will open the toolbox, and then you get a ton of space in here. And this is not the largest option we have. We have one that is the full width of the front of the trailer, and then we also have our fridge box that you can put a power cooler inside.
I still think that's the perfect size for me, at least.
Agreed,
But
100%. Honestly, it's not that much smaller than the full width one, but
right.
maybe there's opportunity to gain a little bit more turning.
Exactly. And if I can attach something on the side if I wanted to
Even
later
better,
on.
yeah, if you had an
Like
idea
a
for
jerry
something.
can or something like that.
Yeah, super cool. Diamond plate on the front, 24 inches is what this option is. We also go full height if you wanted that. We do it without diamond plating if you prefer it that way. Let's see if we can get this off here. Our front AC prep vents, opportunity to port in portable AC, maybe heaters, also just for air circulation, additional venting. A lot of our customers will use these 90-degree elbows.
Yeah, I brought that. I already had it in my truck.
You got a set?
Yeah.
We put those on there.
Nice.
And then that way, if it's raining,
Rainproof.
this will create rain shed. And then we put the screens inside just to
Bug proof.
keep bugs out
Yeah.
there.
So is that, sorry, I guess, is that screen like metal or like fabric?
It's like a fabric.
Okay.
screen.
So if I want to attach some like a diesel heater, probably gonna move that, remove that from inside. Maybe it's better.
I've not heard anybody have any issues with that, but
Okay.
depending on what the output is and how close you have it to the heater, I would consider that.
Yeah.
something
Okay, which is doable from inside because you showed me through the walk around.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
screen is attached to the white portion, and that white portion is 3 screws, wood screws, into
Gotcha.
the interior wall.
Gotcha.
They are a bit of a bear to take off the first time.
Yeah.
I think a lot
Tight
of that's
tolerance.
just making sure you feel where you want your
Right.
wheels to be.
Tactile. So I see the weather stripping. I guess it kind of comes out of the
Yeah, I'm
channel.
glad you pointed that out. A lot of customers ask about this, and I would say most every customer asks about this. What happens is over time with UV rays, hot and cold, things like that, as they acclimate, they will shrink.
Gotcha.
We put a little bit extra material on here, hopefully just to make sure that, as they shrink, they're not exposing those screws.
Mm-hmm. The screws are stainless steel, right?
They are.
Okay. Should be rough.
So you'll find that all of the screws on the outside are now stainless steel,
Okay.
whereas we used to use a lot of the provided hardware that came with these accessories.
Mm-hmm.
We've decided to toss those out, use our own stainless.
Gotcha. I see. So it's like a rubber piece. Oh, I guess there's a bolt right behind it. Yeah, as long as it doesn't come off.
Right. And that has happened. We've had a customer say, hey, the end of this caught some wind and it did come off.
Okay.
We have a plethora of these things. We can send them.
Yeah. Okay. That's a door stopper, right?
Yeah, it's right here.
Nice. It's pretty neat.
Doors have deadbolts, and they also have a handle lock that keeps this from opening. We would always recommend while traveling you would use the
While I'm inside.
the deadbolt, yeah, which can be utilized from this slot.
They're the same key.
Same key for all doors, all cylinders on each door. This one has the basic exterior side light, so you're going to have to switch on the light right here.
Mm-hmm.
The other options would be like the floodlights and spotlights. Those are going to have an internal switch.
Gotcha. Very neat. Can't believe that's a queen size already.
It's very close. So you're going to have 58.5 inches from wall to wall across.
Okay.
And so some of like your RV queens or maybe your milliard trifolds, things like that, people have success with.
Mm-hmm.
You ask me what size you should put in there, we'll say a full size.
Right.
And
Okay.
the reason I like that is because you don't have to worry about any confliction with the walls or the doors.
Right. Yeah.
And you get a little bit of extra room that technically is unusable anyways by your body
Mm-hmm.
due to the wall.
Gotcha.
But now you can get sheets around it a little easier. If you're doing couch mode, things slide a little bit easier.
That's true. That's true.
Windows are going to have a latch internally that allows the panel to slide.
Okay.
You have a secondary screen behind that. I think, it's a small window in general, but on a hiker, it's quite large.
Right.
The windows are going to have weep holes down here to release any water that would have overwhelmed the seals.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Prevent it from causing issues.
Okay.
Inside.
This is the skin, right? Okay.
Yep, metallic bronze aluminum skin. You'll see that it does have a little bit of called an air pocket behind, so they're not joined. They're left loose. They're only attached to the perimeter. The idea is they're going to acclimate at different rates. When you take it outside in the sun, this will heat up before the wood does. So let them do their things independently of each other.
Gotcha.
To our roof rack. Everything you need to hold an awning.
Not the rooftop tent.
If you wanted a rooftop tent, we'd probably try to talk you into putting that third bar here.
Yeah.
So you'd have 600 pounds total capacity.
So each bar is 200?
Yes.
Okay.
Dynamically rated at 200.
Okay. So, I mean, technically it should be enough for a rooftop tent for like 150-pound rooftop tent.
Yeah. Just don't tell us about it.
No. Do you mind to show me how that jack works?
Sure. So, same thing I was mentioning with that front jack. If you pull the pin, the whole thing comes off.
Ah, okay.
So these mounts are similar across all 3 front jacks.
Mm-hmm.
So with the pin out, you can orient that how you want it. Say, hopefully never, but if you're on the side of the road with a flat tire, you put the jack down like this. jack the whole trailer up off the ground
Okay.
temporarily to do your tire change. You get the idea here, right?
Yep.
When you're at a campground, you'd want to have these rear two down to stabilize,
Mhm.
still keeping your tires on the ground, so you have ultimately 5 points of contact.
I see.
It's time to back up and head out. Jack this up a little bit, take the weight off of it, pull the pin, maybe throw these in your toolbox,
Mhm.
or we do take it back and forth to shows. You can just keep them like that. See people get those little rubber ties.
Yeah.
And hold that up there.
Okay. So with these down, like at the campsite, do I still need the wheel chock or anything?
Definitely.
Okay.
I'd say anytime you're stopped and you're not attached to your vehicle, or if you're planning to detach from your vehicle, chalk the wheels.
Gotcha.
The 2x2 rear receiver. This is something else we would rate at that 200 pounds.
200
dynamic.
pounds. Gotcha.
And it's just like what you would have on any other tow vehicle. So you get the 5/8 hitch pin here. Ideal for cargo racks, maybe bike racks.
And that's attached to the frame.
Yes, welded to the frame.
What's that thing underneath there, back there?
Okay, that is a spare tire mount. For an undermount
So I have an option for that.
Yes.
Okay, so the spare tire goes right up.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Each trailer,
shore power.
standard, you're going to have a shore power port.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so this port is going to have like a male extension cord end on it here.
Mhm.
And then what you don't see, what goes through the wall, is a splitter that allows 2 female extension cord leads on the other side. So when we're talking about a hiker trailer and a shore power port, shore power really is opportunities to be charging what's inside here that actually powers your hiker, be it
Right.
like a 12-volt battery or a power
Mhm.
station.
So you mentioned that you kind of turned this a little that way
We did.
to avoid water intrusion.
Yeah, the port is designed to have a weep hole in it, and so the weep hole, if we had this with the ground downward,
Mm-hmm.
the weep hole is right there next to the
I
ground.
see.
We decided to flip it up in the air. That
I see,
way,
I see.
If somebody is using this and it is raining or they're away and we get weather while it's plugged in, there's less opportunity for that water that might collect in here to leak into the interior.
Okay, I see. So it's not this. It's not this that's turned. It's the whole thing that's kind of turned
Yeah,
upside
it's actually this whole socket. So
down. Okay, gotcha. What's the rating for that? Like amperage wise?
15.
Like 15 amp.
I think they do a 15/20.
Okay. Okay.
Next to that's an SAE port. This would be for like a portable panel to plug in.
Mhm.
And again, this just goes through to 2 leads that we would be able to put like a specific connector on if you had a power station that needed an input connection.
Mm-hmm.
We'd wire it to that. If you had an onboard battery, we would wire it to that. If you needed a solar controller in between your unregulated portable panel, we could wire a solar controller inside here before it went to the battery system.
Okay.
Aluminum wheels. It's going to be a 14-inch wheel.
Okay. So we're saying the Zerk port is somewhere behind the wheel, right, on the axle?
Yeah, we had mentioned about using this jack to lift the trailer up, right? So
Mhm.
if we were to do that, then we could then take this wheel off, and right behind this cap, you're going to have a silver grease cap, and some of them will have a rubber plug on the end of that. You can pull just the plug off and be able to access the Zerk.
Mm-hmm.
And then what that Zerk does is allow you to pump grease into the bearings. So it's easy maintenance.
Like every year, something like
The
that.
manufacturer, I believe, is going to say that you want every 3,000 miles to refill with grease. And
Once a year, at least. Or once a year,
I-
whatever comes first.
I would definitely do these
Okay.
things annually.
Okay. That's another door.
Yep, you got a driver's side door on this model, so that is an extra option that you can select if you want it. These are just the standard solid door options.
Mm-hmm.
The alternatives would be a door with a window right here, or you could do a secondary screen door that's attached to this that you can separate, use them independently from each other, or nest them back together instead of one panel to mess with.
Right.
We put in rooftop solar prep. So the idea is you would be able to attach your roof mounted solar panel, connect to these MC4 connectors. It's going to run down in through this front corner of the trailer
Right.
and either into the toolbox where you need it or into the galley where you need it.
So right now it's back in the galley. Right. Gotcha. 17-inch, right?
17-inch shelves.
Mm-hmm.
It's technically going to give you the 19 inches across the footprint there.
Weight rating for the shelves?
We don't have a specific weight rating on that. And again, I'll joke with customers and I'll say it depends on the size of the bump that you hit, right? But you do want to be cautious to put too much weight up here if you're off-roading or...
Right. I'm not putting my batteries on it.
Yeah,
I'm at the bottom.
If it's a smaller power station, you can get away with them up here, maybe on the sides.
Right.
If it's onboard batteries, you probably want to default.
Right.
What we have down here, this is going to be the power station's output option, right? So you have EcoFlow.
Yeah, but I brought two, but yeah, I'll probably put my EcoFlow in here. Just any 12-volt plug.
A lot of customers will just get a 12-volt male plug.
Yeah.
Depending on what power station they have, it'll typically have a 12-volt socket. So you have this plug to connect, and then the power goes from the power station through this cord to the kill switch. Before that will allow it, in the on position, allow it to the fused block there where it can distribute to the rest of the micro.
Gotcha. Right.
Okay, so we talked about that front rooftop solar port that we put on there for you. One of these, and the way that I would look at that is I'd follow it back here, and I would see that this one here goes to your SAE port. So this one here is going to be for a portable panel that plugs into the SAE port out here. This one here is going to be to your rooftop solar.
Gotcha.
And so if you needed to chase them back, you can start by just making sure you noted which one the SAE port is. It's really easy to see. And know that this is the one that you have to chase back down through frame rails and up into the roof.
Gotcha. That should be powered now.
Ooh, that's what we want. Okay. With 12 volts to the trailer now, we can turn the max stand on. And you might consider opening the hood or closing the hood. You can use it.
By hood, you mean the cap, the top of the
max
max
fan. There's a lid on top that
Gotcha.
you can open or close. Even when it's closed, you can still run the fan, which is really nice when it's raining.
Right.
But you would open it with this knob right here. You can push it up or pull it down to release it or lock it. And we use the manual crank. It seems, it's one less thing to worry about. When you get it open, you can lock it into position if you want it. But this is fully open now, so we'll get all the airflow, volume.
Gotcha. So locking it keeps that cap or top in a certain position.
It'll just keep that knob from spinning.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then all of your controls are going to be back here. As for power and exhaust or intake, you have 10 speeds to choose from here, and then you also have an auto mode that will sense the temperature. And I believe factory, they're going to have it set at 78 degrees. So right now, if we put it on auto mode, we get this green light. And once it's sensed 78 degrees or hotter, the fan would kick on to exhaust the heat out of the trailer.
So it's sensing it like right around, like where would the sensor be? Like right somewhere on the fan?
It's somewhere in this base of the fan.
Gotcha.
Yes, I
Okay.
don't actually know where they put the sensor on this.
Sure, that's fine.
I do know that you can adjust that temperature though with
Okay.
the auto on, and using plus or minus will change that
I see.
temperature. There is no display, so you kind of have to keep track of that.
Yeah. Probably gonna not use auto for me, but
I'm a big fan of just manual mode, right?
Yeah.
So if we turn it off and we turn it back on, it's in manual mode, and
Okay.
you can select your desired speed.
that's a fan speed?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, it's 10 speeds. When you turn it on, it should start in 5, so you've got 5 up, 4 down there.
So right now, is it pulling air or is it pushing?
Right now, it is drawing
Drawing
air
air.
out.
Okay, gotcha.
Exhausting. And with the 2 arrows here, we can hit that button. It'll slow it down and then take it the other direction.
And okay, gotcha. Wow, the power draw is very minimal.
Well, I've got it pretty low. We can max it out and you'll see it's probably still very minimal.
Yeah, like 30 watt. Okay. Awesome. I guess when I'm sleeping, it's probably just a little bit will be more than enough for like air circulation.
I feel like most of the vent fans and conditioning systems that we use are going to be overkill.
Right.
As well, it's a small
The
box.
volume of the box.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the light is behind it.
You got your interior dome light right here, which is right on the faceplate.
Okay. And there is a CO detector, right?
It's CO and smoke.
Oh, okay. And this is the AC input.
That's the internal vent cover on your AC prep kit. This is what we were talking about, the 3 screws here.
Right.
You'd be able to detach that and take that whole screen system off if you needed it deleted for like a heat system.
Gotcha. And that's also in the same circuit with the fan and the light.
Yeah, you'll find that the wiring is going to come across here, and then it taps over into this, connects there, and then links back, and then goes over here.
I see.
And down. So they're all in the same circuit.
I see.
You get the 12-volt socket here.
Yep.
You get the voltmeter readout
And
into
USB.
USB ports,
Mm-hmm.
and then this just forces everything on or off.
So I guess the first is the height of this.
I think that's perfect.
That's adjustable. I can lower it if
Yeah,
needed.
I mean, we always tell people there's probably a 6 to 8 inch range between perfectly level where it's still completely safe to tow.
Okay.
So to me, I think you could probably cheat it by going down one more notch in your fancy hitch.
Okay,
but
let's do it.
I agree with Kyle that that would be fine too.
I wanted to have it to be perfect.
I just want to see that hitch operate.
Would that be a little lower? Would that?
I'd go up one more.
Yeah, I think just one
Okay.
down from where you were. That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and if we want to adjust it after we get it on there, there's not like a ton of weight here, but it is going to put some sag on the
Yeah.
truck.
Have an airbag in there, so it should be good.
Oh, you're good shape.
It shouldn't sag too much.
I'm doing that because that's how we would kind of like arrive from a campsite.
Right.
You know, when you're ready to.
See if we can just get a unobtrusive way. All right, good.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so right now we have all the weight on this stationary, like this front foot jack.
Uh-huh.
We also have the wheel jack in case we want to be more mobile. I think the idea would be to get the cart out from under it first.
There's wire right underneath it.
Let's clear some of this out of the way.
I haven't used this ball hitch for a while.
Well, and this is not how you're going to have it set up once you start using it. This is just for us moving it around the warehouse.
Just watch your fingers though.
Okay, this is a little more straightforward.
Wow. How much does this weigh? Like 100 pounds? 100?
Yeah, it's probably right at 100.
Okay.
Maybe 105, 110.
Once we connected the 7-pin trailer plug and the safety cable and the emergency brake line, I'm on my way. Oh, and one last thing before I drove off, I had to test all the lights to make sure they work. One thing I didn't expect was there was no reverse light for the trailer. I guess maybe it's not really a thing for trailers, because I don't recall seeing a lot of reverse light on a towable trailer like this. I had to get a picture of my truck with the trailer in front of the hiker building. I was being really careful on my way back home given it was my first time towing anything behind my truck. My destination for the day was Salt Fork State Park in Ohio. It's about 5 to 6 hours away from Indiana Hiker Trailer facility, so that I make enough distance on day 1 heading back, and probably leaving me another 6 or 7 hours driving on day 2. The weather was really nice and the sunset was beautiful. It was pitch dark when I got to the campground, and thankfully I have some very powerful lights so that I don't hit any deers. It almost felt like the deers were welcoming me to my campsite because I've seen them all the way up to my campsite. I'd say it's pretty challenging being its first time backing into a campsite in pitch dark environment, but I made do. Setting up camp was pretty minimal work given the nature of a teardrop trailer. You basically just get in and lay down and sleep. The only thing I really had to set up was to pump up my inflatable air mattress and also hook up the shore power because I need the space heater to work to get me through the 30 to 32 degree Fahrenheit night.
Alright, good morning. Last night I survived -4 or 28 Fahrenheit night in this camper. I mean, not very warm because I only have this one little heater, 1500 watt heater, shore power plugged right there. It's my little Devo's light. My feet is kind of cold because it's like right in the back area, but it's done well. I have to figure something out in terms of keeping my feet warm. MaxFan really works. Yeah, this is my setup. I'm gonna get dressed and get going. Heading home.
So on my way out of this campsite, I really had the opportunity to take in this beautiful scene. I'll probably take my family here when the time is right. $187.9 miles. I got 12.94 gallons. With towing a trailer, the only inconvenience I can see when traveling is that I have to really park in a double parking situation like this.
Alright, 11.48 gallon. 176.4.
So I was able to get 2 complete fill up when pulling the trailer. Total miles add up to 364.3 miles, and the total fuel used is 24.4. This calculated to be 14.93 miles per gallon, which is around 22.2% loss from the trip up there without the trailer. So my plan for this trailer is to be able to take my family to camping trips throughout the year, no matter what the weather is. I'm going to document my journey on this YouTube channel, so if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and like and comment on whatever you may feel like. Since picking up this trailer, I already made some modifications and took my son to a extreme weather camping during a 15 or sub 15 degree Fahrenheit days. I'm going to make a video of that telling you how we survived the extreme low temperature in this trailer and what my setup is in terms of heating solutions, mattress setup, how to eliminate condensation, etc. So thank you for watching and stay tuned.